Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're stepping back, way back actually. We're going to try and uncover a really foundational story in American history.
Yeah, one that often gets overlooked, I think.
Exactly. We're focusing on the first known law enforcement officer killed in the line of duty in the U.S. You've got some great sources on Darius Quimby. And our mission here really is to unpack those sources, understand the person, the event, and, the wider context. It's more than just dates and names.
Absolutely. It's a snapshot of a very different time.
Okay, so let's delve in. Let's start with the man himself, Darius Quimby. The basics are he was a constable, Albany County Constable's Office, New York, and his death date is listed as January 3rd, 1791.
Right. And that date, 1791.
Yeah.
You really have to pause on that.
Yeah.
I mean, the country was brand new, just formed, really. Washington was president. It was, well, a very early stage.
So what does that tell us about law enforcement itself back then?
Well, it was rudimentary. Very different from now. One fascinating detail from the sources is that Quimby, well, he might have been an unpaid peace officer.
Unpaid? Really?
Yeah. Imagine that. It suggests law enforcement was maybe less formal, maybe more of a civic duty in some ways. Not quite the profession we see today.
That really changes the perspective. What did a constable do back then in the late 1700s?
Good question. Think local.
Yeah.
Very local. Constables were often appointed, sometimes part-time. Their job was basically keeping the peace in their small area, serving warrants, that sort of thing.
Right. Not like a modern police force at all?
No, definitely not. Often no uniform, probably minimal training, if any, and likely operating quite independently within their town or county.
And there's that interesting bit from the 1790 census, right? Mentioning a Darius Quimby.
Yes, exactly. In the household of an Ephraim Quimby in Steventown, New York. And crucially, he was listed as being of an age where he could have been a constable.
So it helps paint a picture, maybe a young man, part of this emerging community.
Precisely. It grounds him a little bit, makes him feel a bit more real than just a name associated with this tragic first.
Okay, so we have the man, the time, the place. Let's move to the event itself. How did this fatal encounter happen? He was attempting an arrest, correct?
That's right. He was trying to arrest a man named Whiting Sweeting, also from Steventown.
And the reason for the arrest, this is the part that always strikes me.
It was a trespassing warrant.
Trespassing, wow. It seems so minor today, although obviously still illegal, but back then, for it to lead to this, what does that tell us about the inherent dangers?
It says a lot, I think. It underscores just how dangerous that job could be, even for seemingly small offenses. There was no backup readily available, probably no standard procedures for making arrests safely. Communication was obviously limited.
Every interaction was potentially high stakes.
Exactly. High stakes, unpredictable. And the line between a minor warrant and a fatal confrontation could be incredibly thin. It was a rougher time, less structured.
So after Constable Quimby was killed, what happened to Whiting Sweeting? What did justice look like in 1791?
Well, things move fast. Much faster than we're used to today.
Okay.
Sweeting was tried and convicted of murder. This happened in the July session of the New York State Supreme Court. Same year, 1791.
So just months later?
Just months. And the punishment followed quickly, too.
What was the sentence?
He was hanged. The execution took place on August 26, 1791.
Hanged. August 26th. So conviction in July, execution in August.
Yeah. It's a stark reminder of how different the legal system and, well, societal views on punishment were back then. Swift and final.
Absolutely. It really paints a picture of that specific moment in time. So bringing it all together, what's the real significance here? Why is this story so important to remember?
Well, fundamentally, it marks a beginning, a very somber one. Darius Quimby holds this designation. The first known law enforcement officer killed in the line of duty in the United States. That's historically significant.
It sets a precedent, doesn't it?
It really does. It's the start of a long, often tragic history of sacrifice in law enforcement. And recognizing this first instance, it helps form the basis for how we remember and honor officers today. The sources mention the Officer Down Memorial Page, Inc. That modern resource is, in a way, connected back to this very first loss.
That's a powerful connection. It really makes you think about that unbroken line of service and risk.
It does, and it raises that question, what does Quimby's death, under these specific circumstances potentially unpaid, serving a minor warrant, tell us about the enduring nature of those risks?
That's a heavy thought. And that really brings us to the end of this deep dive. We've journeyed back to 1791, pieced together the story of Constable Darius Quimby, his life cut short, marking the significant, solemn first in American history.
Yeah. And maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to take away. Consider Darius Quimby's story. A constable, maybe unpaid, killed while serving a trespassing warrant in a brand new nation. What does that single event reveal? Think about what it tells us about the early days of American society, about the beginnings of law enforcement, and maybe about the constant, inherent risks tied to public service itself, risks tied to institutions we often just take for granted today.
Subscribe for more.